All right, our beautiful Guggernauts, it is time to jump into the newest chapter of Indie Love. And today,
Oh,
boys, we are talking 1000 Cuts Jomaku. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that
Jumaku.
second part right, but that's okay.
Sounds about right.
So,
Yeah.
gentlemen, this game here, it actually came on our radar as we were reached out to by the team over at BanjoToadStudio, the creator of 1000 Cuts. And
Mhm.
they let us know about the game, asked if we'd be interested in checking it out. And I know, speaking for myself, Brandon, I think it's fire to speak to you, but anything
Mhm.
Japanese inspired, kind of samurai inspired, we are game and on board. So we managed to get a copy of the demo and we were able to check it out and play through it. So we wanted to just let you guys all know a little bit more about the team, the game, everything that is going on. But basically, 1000 Cuts is basically the story of if Brandon and I had a baby.
Correct.
It is Sekiro meets Blasphemous, two of our favorite genres, worlds colliding, and it's a 2D action side scroller where it is a one shot, one hit killing combo set in a dark fantasy world of Kurogara, Japan. So the game itself is made by BanjoToadStudios. This is actually their very first game that they are making. So first off, congratulations to BanjoToad. A small studio. It actually only consists of about 4 people. So they have one key artist, an animator, one designer, one programmer, and then Megan, the social media manager, who we have been working closely with. With that, you can also find more information about the game. Obviously, everything that we talked through today in the links below. I will definitely be posting their Steam page, but they are also in the process of launching their Kickstarter as well. So if the game does seem interesting to any of you and you want to check it out more, please go check out links in below. And once again, I'll throw a QR code on the screen that will link out to all of their socials. With that, from a gameplay standpoint, so like I said, one shot, one kill. It's truly a no bullshit combat system. And gentlemen, it is very difficult. I'm so fucking trash. I'm so bad at this game, Brandon. I died so many
Oh, buddy.
times.
And you went for the steel sword like an
Yeah, I went
animal,
on
mind
easy
you.
mode.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
went.
So to prefix that, you get a choice at the beginning, basically, of through the story where you either get to pick your weapon as a wooden sword so that you don't kill the guys, like the people,
Mm.
or you can get the sword, like an actual fucking legendary sword. And they make it so that the moral choice is to take the wooden sword in the story.
Yeah.
Like by taking the wooden sword, the way that they lay out the story, which is quite good. It makes me like I felt like an asshole taking the metal sword and I couldn't do it. So I went for the wooden sword. And then I found out that was hard mode. So then there was that too, which was great. So
So
sorry,
Mike
Mike. I
was
just wanted
saying
to get
it's. I unfortunately haven't had a chance to play it, but Mike's saying it's one hit, one kill. So
if you
with
have the steel
the
sword.
okay, and with the wooden sword, it takes you a certain number of hits to down an enemy, but the
Oh,
enemy will still kill you with one hit.
yes. So if you get hit once, you're
And
dead. Uh,
okay,
the wooden sword though, oh my god! Like eventually, once I realized what it was and how much harder it was, I was pretty down. And because essentially what happens is the wooden sword, you have to hit different enemies different amounts of times. Normally once, but then bigger enemies sometimes twice, sometimes 3 times.
okay,
And the interactions are set that you only really get one exchange. So you hit them and they're kind of stun locked for a second. And sometimes for certain enemies, you have to learn their moves, like you have to dodge back, then re-engage. There's definitely an art to it that touches on the Soulsborne side. But the thing is, with the wooden sword, they're only knocked out temporarily or
Yeah.
temporarily.
oh,
So if you have to kill all or knock out all people on the screen before they start resurrecting, otherwise, like they'll just keep coming back.
oh
So
god, that
you have
really
to
is hard mode.
yes, you
Yeah.
have to be fast and you have to clear like entire rooms. Or you could just knock down a lantern and burn their ass alive, which really defeats the purpose of
Buddy,
using a
those
wooden sword so you don't kill them. Uh,
those lanterns turned on me so many times, Brandon.
yeah, you can also light yourself on fire too. And
Yeah.
there's sometimes too, like if you both swing at the same time, they'll cut you and kill you, and you kill them.
Yeah.
Uh, but the game is pretty good at putting rest locations. So you go and you basically meet an old man in a room, and you can drink tea with him, and that's how you save your progress. Uh, but you only have limited amounts of tea that you find throughout the game. So you
Oh,
kind of want to
cool.
be selective on your jump points. And I was telling you guys before when we were in the green room when we were getting started here, actually, I went to play a little bit more. So news to me, PlayStation controllers now work with Steam by just plugging them in. No third party downloading like I used to have to do.
Yep.
It literally just works now. So I'm using my
Features now.
PlayStation. So my first probably hour with this game, I was using the keyboard and the mouse, and it was
Good luck.
fucking painful.
Yeah, okay,
Like it was
correct.
so much harder. But I still managed to do it, and I got through the first boss and almost at the second boss with just the keyboard with the wooden sword and with children running around me. So I feel like that's the ultra hard mode. But yeah, so now I went back to play, and I've got my controller, and for some reason I don't know how it happened. Like it kind of bugged out, and my game was no longer there, and I had to start again. And I was a little cheesed because
It's still
I was
in early development.
yeah, it does have bugs. It does have some hiccups, but for the most part, it's not really an issue. Like one bug I've been seeing lately is that the rest option will pop above my head. Like there'll be a little text bar above that says rest, and you can push down on the D-pad to rest, but it's popping up when I'm actually in the level. But minor things. Like the bugs are very minimal. But the
And
bug
definitely
where my
things that are going to be taken care of by the time the game gets released fully.
yeah,
Absolutely.
but like the thing with my game getting deleted was a little bit annoying because I
Now
just
you go back with the steel sword.
That's exactly what I did. So it deleted it, and I was at the second boss. I was just about to fight him without children around me this time, and then it was gone. So now, yes, I did the steel sword, and my God, is it easier with the steel sword? Like I'm gonna get back to the second boss. I feel like very quickly now that I've got the steel sword.
Nice.
Like
Nice.
the wooden sword is definitely hard mode,
Yeah.
but
And
also
Yeah,
so much fun.
when I hop into this, I'm going to go in with the steel sword and I'm going to set everything on fucking fire.
I know.
But you
I'm
say that
going
the
super
story,
easy.
I know.
the story's gonna hit you, and you'll be like, "Hey, you're a piece of shit if you take the steel sword." It's
I
like,
know.
"Oh fuck!"
Really?
They do an excellent job with that decision, Brandon. You touched upon it before, but I will say I do agree with you because it's like, okay, every part of my being wants the wood sword, but like I suck at these games, so I'm just gonna take the other one.
Yeah.
But from a story perspective, you are playing as Hero, and you've been exiled by your father, and from there you've been kind of like taken in, and your father figure is Uncle Jiro. So more or less, your Prince Zuko and Uncle Iroh from Avatar: The Last Airbender. But
Yeah, cool,
the
cool.
choices come down to if you want the true like the easy mode, the actual samurai sword, is you have to kill Uncle Jiro and join your father's army. I know.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then
Yeah.
if you take
That's why I couldn't do it.
the good the kind of the good choice, the true one is you go and you spare Uncle Jiro and you go off to try and kill your father, which is like the way better
wooden sword.
storyline,
With a
but you got
wooden
a
sword,
stupid
yeah.
wooden sword.
Yeah.
So again, I will commend them from like that standpoint because I think that's a pretty good
That does make a tough choice.
good and bad choice conflict.
But if you don't want to feel like an asshole, so this is what I did this time. They have the two options where you can skip the story and like you just jump right into action. They say like there's like jump into the action or story mode. So I just did jump into the action because I had done the story already, and then I didn't feel bad taking the metal sword. I didn't see anything that happened to my uncle. It's
What
fine.
they should have is jump into story mode, and then after you jump into story mode and you have the steel sword, it just tells you over your head, by the way, you just killed your uncle for the
Yeah,
sword, you fucking asshole.
You're a piece of shit.
You're absolutely a piece of shit. So again,
So how's the story throughout? Do you get like little bits here and there when you're dealing with, you know, these random characters, like the old man that you drink tea with, the enemies you fight? Is there any conversation?
Lots of NPCs,
Very
lots of
much so.
conversation, lots
Cool.
of NPCs. Yeah.
Ooh, you can also murder NPCs, which I found fun.
Oh,
I found that out today.
a very steel sword thing of you to say.
Well, because so basically you go into a room, and if you kill all the guys or knock them all out, and then you come back after the fact, because you can room swap really easily, there's a bunch of like girls that are kind of dressed like geishas, and they're just cleaning the room with all the dead bodies. But you can then kill them, and then they run away. Like any survivor of them will just run away. So I
was
don't know
also
what the
somehow
ramifications
killed
of
by
that
one
are.
of them. They fought back on my side and they killed
Oh
me.
yeah,
Nice.
Yeah,
Oh, see, they knew better on mine.
I know.
Oh yeah, this is
That's
another
really
great
cool.
mechanic on the video, like the lights and stuff. So you do hide in darkness sometimes, and you can actually deactivate the lanterns so that so that you're not visible in the light to other people. So you can do some stealth, and you can do takedowns if you sneak up behind people.
Oh, that's a pretty cool mechanic.
Yes, especially because in rooms like this one in particular, where you have fire shooting at you from the fucking stoves by some type of weird magic, and then there's people on the back screen that are off screen, and if they see you or detect you, they'll jump onto the main screen, and you have to fight them as well. And they'll oftentimes like come at you from
Oh.
both sides of the screen. So a lot of it comes down to timing, where you really have to like once you see them moving, all right, you got to move forward and kill the guys quick because they're about to come up and hit you in the back. Uh, so there is a lot of timing, which on the Souls side of aspects, the one hit, one kill thing, yeah, you get one shotted in Souls by a lot of bosses, and that happens. But this
Mhm.
one's a little bit different because it's 2D. But the timing and having to learn different people's attack patterns and
Right.
pattern recognition to be able to cut them once and kill them
Yeah.
before then does capture a bit of the Souls-esque type of feel for
Yeah.
sure. And there's a lot of times too, like sometimes like the odd time I find when I'm like I always preload the sword basically when I'm coming up for engagements.
Hmm.
So the attack button, when you hold it, you go down to like grab your sword, and then when you release it is when you slash. So I'll
Okay.
preload a lot of the times, but then that means I'm moving backwards and forwards. And sometimes I've had it kind of tweak a little bit, and it'll flip me around so I'm facing the other way. And I'm like, oh fuck! Now I'm facing the wrong way. I have to release my sword technique, or like quickly scramble, or just dodge my way out. Which is actually they just added dodge mechanics with iframes, which
Nice.
is a super awesome addition. Very useful. But still, like you can kind of there's been a couple of little things like that where it's not quite as
Ballsy.
yeah, I would say like Soulsy was always this thing that is brutally hard, but if you fuck up, you fucked up. It's not
Yeah.
like there's
Right.
nothing wrong, but it's still in development. So like obviously things like that are being worked out,
Bra- uh,
and but it's barely happened at all. I'd
yeah.
say.
Brandon, did you manage to get any of the special techniques? I believe you get some of the special techniques after defeating bosses, if I'm not mistaken. So there's like dash
Mhm.
attacks, grapple hooks. So like as you're playing as well, you're getting some additional stuff to make the mechanics and make the combat even more crazy.
Exactly. So I beat the first boss. This is the second boss that I was just on right now.
Gotcha.
The first boss I got something, but now it's gone because my game got deleted. But whatever. I'm gonna get back there anyways. It's not a big deal. First boss wasn't too hard. The second boss though was tough. Like the one time I played it with this fire shit falling down, where you literally just have to dodge fire in between
Oh.
the breaks. It's very like it's tense. It's very tense. And I made it to the final one, and I had Luther like hitting me in the leg, being like, come with me, come with me." I'm like, "Fuck!" Like I'm almost done, like motherfucker. Yeah, it was hard.
That's awesome.
But yeah, but honestly, as a whole, graphically, like it's pixel art, but
Yeah.
it does do an amazing job of actually being very good. Even though it uses like tans and kind of bland colors, it still looks great.
It
Uh,
does seem like really good. Like the art is really, really pretty, and it's
mhm.
kind of like I can't speak to authenticity, but it seems very authentic. Just the coloring, the I'm not going to say the blandness, but like the plainness, the simplicity of it. It's all very. It feels correct. I love
Yeah,
it.
Yeah.
exactly. It's a perfect backdrop of like kind of earthy tones. And then when you do get something like the fire here, like the fire stands out. Like it's
Mhm.
very visually, like it's rendered in a different way. It's just very vibrant. The the characters, even like this guy, this blacksmith, is just the characters are cool. Uh
Yeah.
the
It's
boss fights are tough. They are tense. There's always
Mhm.
save points pretty close to the boss, so you don't really have to worry about like going a far distance. There's an obsession with cats. Cats are
yeah.
fucking everywhere. You
Yeah.
can
That
pet
was,
all of the cats, and they have like a cat gallery that you can go to and just like look at cats.
yeah.
Which whatever, dogs are better, but still, like,
Forget 1,000 cuts. It's now 1,000 cats. Uh,
yeah, 1,000. That's your victory. Just get a lot of pussy at the end of the game.
yeah,
Heyo.
you can go and like Brandon was saying, you pet all the cats and they have different animals that you can kind of find and collect throughout the game. And I believe they also open up different pathways as well. So like if you
Mhm.
find enough of them or whatever it is, they kind of help out. A few other things to kind of touch upon is it's not just like, okay, you go screen by screen by screen, but it also opens up kind of optional doors that you can go into that will provide like a harder challenge, but then typically give you a pretty half decent reward as well that comes out of it.
Mhm. That's
So
Right.
how you
again,
find your tea, basically,
yeah,
too.
yeah,
You get your tea
exactly.
off of fallen enemies. So you go into certain side rooms where it's just an empty room with one enemy and there's no other purpose. That guy probably got some tea. So you're gonna kill that motherfucker, and you take his tea, and then you're gonna go have some jasmine iced tea and save your progress. Nice
Iroh. And then basically besides that, so the game itself, like I was saying, it's slated to come out actually Q1 of 2025. So the full game, we're still a little bit away, about half a year away from it, which is also wild to think that 2025 is like 6 months away. But hey, here we are. But like I said, right now anyone can go over to the Steam page, links in the description below, to download the demo, play for yourself for a free demo. I think it's a wonderful introduction to the game as well.
It's a worthy game. Like the demo alone, if I paid $5 or $10 for, I wouldn't be mad.
Yeah, and the teams actually, I believe they're releasing pretty regular updates to it. Again, some minor kind of hot fixes, but also on like a weekly or bi-weekly basis, kind of adding in small tweaks, new features, things along those lines. Brandon, like you're saying, kind of the addition of the iframe for the dodging, which is super helpful. And yeah, overall, really cool. But we'll definitely be talking more about 1000 Cuts as it leads up to the big final release date, and then we'll give our final review once it goes live. So again, check out the Kickstarter campaign, check out the Steam page for it. Please go ahead, wishlist it. It always helps out the developers try and get their name out there. So once again, congratulations BanjoToadStudio as you continue developing, I should say, this awesome little game. It's great.